Hey, what is up everyone? It's Rich. Alright, welcome to a new video. This is going to be a review video for Markus. He was nice enough to have it be shared on YouTube. So normally I wouldn't do an introduction like this, but I'll kind of explain really quick what we're going to do here. So on my Patreon for $1, it's a tip jar basically. From $1 to $5, you can get in and get access to 100% of my stuff. If you can only afford $1, you could do that and literally get probably 300 to 400 videos that are just for Patreon, where I'm always uploading new stuff. And then there's a $20 tier, which is a 15 to 20 minute review of your work. So it's not necessarily a lesson, but I really will give your work a good once over, and kind of tell you what I see, what I think is working, what maybe would be like things that you could refine or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to change him on this. I think this is done. Yeah, hopefully send you away with a really good sort of idea of what at least I see in the work, and what I think for the style that you're working in, you could incorporate or work on to get better, because anyone can get better. I'm constantly trying to learn new things and refine things and come up with new ways to do stuff. So anyway, and then Markus actually has a Kickstarter going, and the book has already been funded, but if you like what you see and you want to order it, I'll have a link in the description box below. So, that's a possibility for people wanting to do it. So we're going to look at the pages without lettering first. Or, well, here, let's read the letter really quick first. So, hi, Mr. Friend. Here are the first 4 pages of our book, Sisterhood, helmed by Richard Boom. This is a prequel to issue 1, which came out 2 months ago after quite a successful Kickstarter campaign. I attached a PDF layout with the lettering. I asked him to do that just because I was curious well, the question for me was did you get script with the dialogue? Because it's important to make room for dialogue, and if you're only working from made up scripts, you could fill a page where it would be very difficult to have word balloons. You do have to take that into consideration. If there's a ton of text that's going to be in a panel, you have to draw things accordingly. So that's why he included both, but I don't think that he got full dialogue. And then so he said, if you wonder why some of the stuff looks odd, pages 1 and 2 were originally 1 page. So pages 1 and 2 were originally 1 page, which I relayed out in Photoshop, touching up missing edges here and there, which will be all invisible once it's inked and colored. And page 3, the splash, was done all digitally, hence the difference in style. I will also ink way over the edges of the original penciling, since I noticed that I boxed in some of the artwork, which will make it disappear into the trim once it goes to print. Okay, and then I'll have a link to the campaign. So let's look at... This is pages 1 and 2. Okay, so this is a really, really nice shot. My only thought, though, is generally isn't page 1 a single page, but maybe there's just a title page, and then you open up to the spread. So, anyway, but I could see how this was 1 page, and then it turned into a spread. So, let's see here. Everything looks really cool. Honestly, I'll tell you, I love this panel in particular. I think that this is really, really cool looking. You have a really like cinematic style, and I noticed on the other pages too, there's little moments of, honestly, like, I think really, really brilliant stuff. The perspective on this gets a little weird. It's funny because we're doing, like, this building is a tiny bit crooked, and I know it's sitting on a bluff that it could obviously the ground isn't completely, I think that's a little more comfortable. But even this vanishing point, so let's see, eye level is like right about here. Let me try to do this really quick. I think it's grayscale. Let me turn it to RGB color really quick. Oh, wait, brush. So eye level is just slightly below the sky, if I'm not mistaken. That's kind of where I'm seeing eye level. It's a little crooked, but is it not? Okay, that's weird. Eye level is like right about here. So if I extend your canvas with, I'll try to find the vanishing point of this edge. Well, hold on, let me do this really quick. Okay, so this is your vanishing point, so when you start to see stuff being blocked in, you can start to see things drifting a little bit. Like this lifts a little bit. This is starting to lean forward. Like this should be a little more. It's subtle stuff, but I mean, it would make a difference. I would almost rather see it going a little bit more to like a 3-point perspective than but yeah, this is starting to drift a little bit. So this edge has lifted right here. This is going up, and it's also starting to curve this way. Do you see that right there? You want to be careful of stuff like that. All that stuff starts to send little weird mixed signals. I see that this is off, but this stuff is all really nice. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm going through perspective right now, and it's really, really important. So here's another thing you're messing up on, is I'm seeing a top view of this. Like, you're showing the top view of these dishes, but they're above eye level, so they would actually start to be, if not reading as flat, unless they're leaning over, you're going to start to see the underside of it more than what you're showing, which is they're all curving this way. So again, you're sending mixed signals with your perspective. These are okay, although they would honestly probably read a little more flat even here, even though they're beneath the horizon line. But you would have minimal ellipse being created there. This is okay. I get what you're, well, here, we'll just, like, this is fine. I think this all looks really good. You know, you can always, with like clothing, there's weight points, like things will, and then this top plane, it's gonna have gravity takes its hold on things. So this is fine, but you know, definitely break out your like Lord of the Rings like trilogy set and take some screenshots of people in cloaks and the different folds and stuff like that. And you can always add nuance to it. This is really nice though right here. It looks good. But okay, so back to this foot. I like this actually too. I think this is a beautiful little moment right here. You know, you could have almost pulled in a little bit tighter on this guy. It doesn't bother me, this shot. And you're breaking the panel borders, which I don't know if it is completely necessary. This isn't so bad. I'm not 100% sure that this foot needs to be out of the panel border. It's like, it's a storytelling beat that's a little weird to me. I'm assuming, well, we'll look at the storytelling in a second. I'm just going to talk about the drawing here right now. So when I look at it from far away, for whatever reason, compositionally and how you have the levels of value, meaning like dark, I think the birds work, this works. Like, I know definitely this guy's the center of attention, and actually the boat even really helps you focus on him. I mean, it's a nice convenient thing that it's like, hey, look at this guy right here. It's like, you know, he's framed beautifully just based on that. But when I get here, this is getting so much attention, and it's kind of a weird angle too. But I see what you're doing. He's walking in the frame. But now we'll look at the storytelling really quick. So he pulls up on the shore, and he starts to walk forward. And as he's walking forward, he removes his cloak. He starts to enter the temple, drops the cloak. I'm not 100% sure what this is unless he removed the necklace, but this is a weird storytelling beat. I'm not sure what that is. It looks like a baseball with like something like a ponytail on it. So regardless of how clear this is to you, I'm not 100% sure what it is. And it looks like he's still wearing the cloak here. So maybe this is another person. We'll see in a second. We'll keep following this, but yeah, I mean, he removes this. This wouldn't be hanging down that far, so this is probably a different person. Maybe this is a zombie coming, like, not a zombie, but you know what I'm saying, something else. But this would be my recommendation for this anyway. I don't think it needs to be out of the panel border. The foreshortening isn't extreme enough to sell me that it's even worth doing this. I don't like the angle of the foot either. Just my own thing. I would have it like about like that. I think looks better. This is, but it's just, this is creating like a weird, like it almost looks like another foot coming in. Or sorry, I keep going to like, but this feels like a foot. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm like getting this weird optical illusion that this is like a foot. You see what I'm saying? Like it looks like. So I don't think that the placement of that object is actually very good regardless. I think like if this is an object that was dropped, it's would still need to be moved. Maybe a little smaller. If it's his necklace, again, I'm not 100% sure who that is yet. So something like that I think might look a little bit better, and you obviously would clean all that up. Love this. I think this is great, and these two panels are nice. I think that I don't want to call it a problem, but I think what is a little weird is the angle of this. And I'm gonna hold on, let me do this. I'm gonna get rid of this stuff really quick. Wait, what? Did it? Okay. I don't want all that extra real estate messing with my eye on this. I want your spread and nothing else. Right. Yeah, the angle of this panel I don't really find very comfortable with everything else. Sorry, there's a helicopter flying over my house. It's like there's no vibe anywhere that is taking me to that place. So if anything, if you're gonna do something like that, and you've got enough room to honestly make these panels a little bigger, so, but I would mellow that out just the tiniest bit. Oh, sorry, let me reverse it. Maybe something a little more like that. I just think that it was a little too. It's just a little too like. But other than that, this is very nice. I love the orbital sort of sweep that you gave the clouds. Like they don't go straight across. It's really, really good. But yeah, it's a very, very beautiful layout overall. I like it. So okay, let's go to this one. So this is page 3. I just want to make sure. Oh, this is page 2. All right, we'll look at page 2 next. Hold on. I'm gonna look at both. Yeah, I'm still not 100% sure who the Craggly robe is, because this guy's drapery is nice and tight. So what is this? I really don't know. Or maybe this is a different person. This guy's showing up, and then yeah, it's a little confusing. I don't. Maybe there's people that are watching this. They're like, "This is what's going on, you dummy." All right, so this is page 3. Yeah, I just want to make sure. Or hold on, let's go to page 2. So this is a nice shot. I think perspective is fighting you here also a little bit. She's not in perspective with the room is part of the problem. She's straight up and down. You've got this three point perspective, and she's not in it. And then this guy is feeling like he's kind of in 3-point perspective, but he's starting to drift over. If he was in a cube, let me turn this color for a second. I'm telling you, everyone that's on my Patreon right now is not going to have trouble with this stuff in another few weeks. I mean, if you start to think of things as like sitting in these kind of forms, the floor is flat. You've established that this is flat and she's flat, and yet he's turning to this weird angle. I mean, that's how it feels. So it's, I get what you're going for, but it's a little like everything isn't completely gelling. I'm trying to think of the easiest fix. I hate to move the statue because I like the shot of the statue, like at that angle. I think it's cool and it creates a nice sense of height to the room. This won't look seamless, but let me just that kind of helps your shot. If there was an easy fix, you're still getting that nice thing. This looks way better, honestly, and it fits a little bit more. Like everything sort of is gelling a little more. It's those little massaging things. Yeah, this looks way better. So, I mean, you could even do that yourself, but it's just, this is at such an extreme angle that looks cool. I mean, you're not losing anything doing that other thing. I mean, it's nobody would ever go, oh, you know, it would have looked so much cooler if it was leaned over a little bit. So that would be my recommendation on that. And then everything else seems to fit more comfortable. He doesn't look like he's falling over. Because that's, if I look at it like this, it just feels like this is flat and straight and just very comfortable. This is very comfortable. He's leaning. I'm seeing top of his head. I mean, again, if you turn this into cubes, everything is giving you this sense of turn, you know. But this isn't. Why isn't this like this, you know, sitting at the same angle as that? And it's not. So it's like they're on the same plane. So this too is well, you're showing a lot of the top. It would be a little more like that, a little bit more. You're really turning it down. You see? Sorry, I'm working on a Wacom, so my control isn't as good. But yeah. So anyway, still a nice page though. I like every idea that you have on it. But I think with that little tweak of the statue, which this is your original shot, would look better. So I don't think it'll reverse back to what I did. But anyway, we can do it really fast. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, I don't know if the book is shipped or how, like what, you know, just give that a little bit of that. And there you go. Boom. You get to keep all the awesomeness, and then I would probably adjust this. I think that would be easier than the figure if you were going to do it. It's just, they're not at the same perspective. Okay. I can't make this too long. Well, the last review went way over what it should have. This is great right here. I love this. This is killer. Really, really great pose, too. This is so hard to draw something like this, so you nailed that. Love this shot, too. I think this is so kick-ass. I'm not just saying that, either. I really mean that. Like I said, you had moments of what I would consider really, really brilliant, you know, high-level thinking with your shot choices. So this, and this, I think these three are really, really cool. This is nice. I think we're a little too, well, you know, and it's a size thing. Everything on this page is kind of the same size. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my thing that I do. Oh, sorry, not that. That's a different thing. The stick. I'm gonna create a new layer. Let's see. Oh, hold on. What am I doing? So I haven't been in Photoshop in a while. I'm like tripping. There we go. So watch this. All right. A, C, V. Okay. Oh, sorry. You want to avoid this. All the points of interest. And what I mean by points of interest are really what your eye focuses in on. Because even though this figure is longer, this is really the money right here. This is what we're really focused in on. This is part of the panel. And even this, you know, oops, it's all just really similar sizes. So mixing it up a little bit will definitely help. You know, like you could have, the page could have definitely benefited from something big. All right, let me just I can hide all these. But you have nice small figures here. Like, that's good. Like, this and this is cool. I think that this shot works. It's fine. I have no problem with it. But maybe one of these could have been bigger. I'm not sure which, though. Maybe this. You could have had him, because we don't really need to see his legs. Oh, sorry, wrong layer. I was gonna try to get him super big. Let me just see if he'll fit. If you had more extreme foreshortening, you could maybe have ramped up this guy. And it's nice too, an idea somewhat like this. Like, it could have been a really, like, you know, you blow this up like extreme foreshorten, and it sends you up and out of the page. It's not going to work with this exact drawing the way that you have it right now, but I think this is really kind of like, this page sort of goes out a little sort of like it doesn't overwhelm me. It's a pretty exciting moment. I mean, someone takes an arrow to the chest or already had an arrow in their neck. So let me see what's going on with the storytelling first really quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Dude, I want to see page 2 really quick. So this so I'm going to assume that this is the page that follows up this. All right, so he peeks on the corner and then reacts to this. I'm assuming this is what he sees. He's very, very low in the shot. You like, if that's the guy's view, I mean, he's sitting literally at the height of his shoulder. I don't know if that would have been the best choice. But okay, so then this pulls out the dagger. There's a guy standing behind fire, and then he is on his knees, crying, I guess, or he's crying here. He's so scared of this. And then she shows up. Or wait, is that her? I guess that's her. The silhouette doesn't completely convince me that this is her. I think the points on the crown, if that's who it's supposed to be, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. Yeah, this silhouette doesn't really look like her headdress. Like, it needs more gaps. Right? I mean, she's got horns on her head. It should look like this. A little more. And also, she would be more shapely, right? Because as far as I can tell, although she has these drapes that come down off of here, Yeah, there's a lot of little things that you need to definitely pay attention to, Marcus. Still, it's you draw really really well, so there's a lot of good stuff going on. But make sure that you keep this consistent, because her outfit and this original silhouette, I'm not 100% sure that something as simple as this, you really need to make sure, because you know what I mean. Like, it's not like just gonna delete all these so I don't have to keep bouncing back and forth. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure that this is consistent with this. I mean, this hangs down. I'm not getting any impression that that hangs down. Her figure is very shapely. This is a pretty like full cloak. And maybe it's a different person and I'm reading this wrong. But as a storyteller, it is your job to make it. I love this panel. I think it's freaking great. It reminds me of something like Travis would do. There's a few like on this too. This reminds me a little bit of like his Meta Baron stuff. So it's a huge compliment. But yeah, there's a couple of little moments that have a Travis vibe without looking like Travis. This is nice. So she's walking this way. So yeah. And they turn the camera, and then this. Yeah, I just wish this guy was a little bit bigger. So, okay, I think you did a really, really nice job. I think with some fine-tuning and a little bit more introspection and focus on some little things, you're going to nail it on the next things, because all these things now, it's not like it's not stuff that you can't draw. It's just things that you need to make sure you pay attention to. So, nice work. And again, everyone, check out his Kickstarter if you'd like. And, and here's the letter pages. So yeah, there's a decent amount of text. It looks good. I mean, I actually like the lettering quite a bit, and it fills the page nicely. This still feels out of perspective to me, though. Some stuff might have the blow softened a little bit by the lettering, but yeah, this headdress just does not look like hers to me. And this is a little difficult to tell it's the same guy. I was going to mention that when I opened the files, I noticed this. The lighting on this guy is very, very extreme. He's got a lot of shadows on him, and then when you come here, his face, you can see it more clearly on this, isn't as heavily in shadow. And so even though he's bald and he's got a knife, it's in his left hand, yeah. It could have maybe been a little more consistent with the lighting. Like I don't know how the shadows immediately moved away from him. Unless I guess, yeah, I would have put a little bit of shading on him on his face, just a little bit. Mark Silvestri would do stuff like that in like Wolverine and X-Men, and then this looks really nice. Like the lettering looks great. It's fantastic choices. I love the this sort of sunset sort of vibe with the fades. So yeah, but again, I think this is turned a little too much. This has got a weird sort of tangent going on with this, creating the optical illusion of like a backwards foot here, which is a little weird. This doesn't, with the lettering, it mellows out a little bit, but I think yeah, I mean, if anything, the simple fix maybe would have just been this. If you really loved how the foot looked, is just move this over a little bit and make it just a little bit tinier. Then you'd obviously have the rest of the foot that's going off into. You know, something like that. That could have been a fix too if you really, really were sold on this. And you know, look, and a lot of times there's multiple answers to the questions, but these still look like they're all drooping. You know, there's no reason with the eye level that you created that we would see these all leaning over. I mean, unless you're just real. The thing is here's the deal: is you could go, well, realistically, because the thing is on a slope, they sit at a weird angle. But as the artist, if something looks off, you need to bend it to your will. You're the boss. It's like perspective is there to help you set things up, but you know, this stuff curving just doesn't look like solid architecture to me. So anyway, I think you get it, and I think you're gonna nail all this stuff on any kind of future things that you do. So all right, great job, Marcus, and have a good day. All right, later.